Hi guys, welcome to a very chilly settle in Spain this week. I'm Amanda, that's Otis, and my husband David is away working, though he's due back later this week, so you're going to be seeing more videos with him in really soon. I say it's chilly, it is. We've had a really sudden cold spell. As you know, the last few videos you've seen, I've been doing the introductions and it's been raining. We've had week after week of solid rain. We've now on day 2 of it being dry, and it's actually a bit sunny right now. I can't get the camera to focus on that view behind because the sun's coming through, but there's actually some fluffy clouds starting to develop too. Now, those clouds are not apparently going to bring rain. According to the weather warning, we have an orange or whatever colour it is weather warning happening. There is a likelihood that we're going to get snow tonight and tomorrow. I can't quite believe it. Some forecasts are saying up to 11 inches of snow. This is April. This is crazy. So let's wait and see. If there is snow, I'll be out videoing it tomorrow. He has never seen snow. He doesn't know what it is. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he reacts. So this week, welcome back to our subscribers. To anyone who's new, welcome too. Please remember to click on that subscribe, click on the like, and also click on the bell to remind you when our new videos come available. The best thing you can do to help us and help the channel is to share this around. Thank you. Ready, Otis? Okay, so this week, electricity. Something we all take for granted. You plug things in and they work. The electricity in the house is very antiquated. It's not been updated for a very long time. We needed to make sure that it was safe going forward for us doing the work that we're going to do on the property. So you're going to see our friend and neighbour Derek helping us to do that. Also there's me doing some clearing the outside of the property, both outside the front and in the yard. I also show you a little bit of the outside of this place where we're renting and a little bit of why we're here. So I hope you enjoy that. Lastly, it's going to end with something I wasn't expecting. We had that crazy sand that came across from North Africa and did crazy things with the weather. This week, he's behaving and we don't have any chickens. Let's do that again, shall we? Let's do that again. Yes, let's do that again. Let's try again. You going to help me, Oti? Yeah, help. So, no. That isn't going to work because I haven't got Otis now. Oti, come here. Come on. That's it. Up you come. Up you come. Good boy. So, now the neighbours' dogs have stopped barking, we'll try starting again. I hope you enjoy this week's episode and we'll see you again soon. Starting this week then, a little bit later than planned. It began with our friend and neighbour Derek coming across to help me make the electric safe across to the warehouse. For those of you that have been following along, you'll remember from week 1 we discovered that the electrical wires hanging down in the middle of the warehouse were actually live. There's no electrical box over there, there's no switches, there's no sockets, everything has been torn out and these live wires were left hanging down and attached to an extension lead. It took me a few days of investigations. I got some professionals in to have a look, and the electrics over to the warehouse, not only were they live, they were also illegal. It was not going through the meter, it had never had a bill. So Derek then has made everything much safer for us now. There are no live electrics across in the warehouse, and he even gave me a good explanation of everything that he had done so that I could pass that on to David later.
Right, don't lose them two, because they're in that little box up there.
Right,
So
those two from that little box, don't lose them, Amanda. This is why I put it on video, because otherwise my brain will forget.
There were the illegal feeds going into the box, plus 2 broken fuses, and he has fixed both of those issues for us, which is fantastic. Thumbs up, thanks Derek. Inside the house, if you remember from the walk around tour, there isn't actually much electrics. We've got a few wires hanging from ceilings with bare bulbs and the odd socket or outlet, all of it running on very low voltage bell wire. So the next stage for us is going to be come up with a plan for the electricity. In the meantime, what Derek has done for us, he's put a proper socket in that electrical box so that we can run an extension lead and use power tools. He's also put a safety trip, which is essential going forward. So next up then, we need to work out how to do an electrical plan for our house. While Derek was working on the electrics, I was chatting to his wife, who was telling me all of the gossip about the house for the last 15 years or so that they've been living there. And I was cleaning this curtain you can see hanging from the front door. These metal fly screen curtains hang on a lot of the houses around here, and it might seem a strange thing to be cleaning it, but they're actually quite expensive to buy brand new. For a decent metal one, you're probably talking between 60 and 80 euros. If it's made to fit an extra wide door, it can cost even more. This one had got lots of paint on it. Basically, the house had been repainted about 5 years ago, and the paint splatters were all over the metal curtain. So rather than replacing it, I decided to clean it. Editing this now, since we've had the Calima or sandstorm, of course I do realise this is probably going to need cleaning again. Also, our neighbour informed me just now that these chains have been up on this door for as long as they have lived here, which is over 15 years, so they last. Hi, so it's Friday. I can't believe it's another Friday. It's a grey day. The sun's trying to come through, but there's snow on the mountain just behind you there, and there's a cold wind blowing. What we haven't got though is rain, which is good, so I'm going to do some work outside this morning and try and get this garden behind me cleared. There's wire netting around the edge of the bed there, big stakes to come out. I want to get the blind off that window and get that window cleaned as well. Let's see how much we can get done. Cleaning the bed out did in the end take quite a bit of time. I had to get the wire off, those posts out, and then clean all of the old dead grass and stuff like that from out of there. I filled several bags and sacks with rubbish that can go onto a compost heap, which I'm about to start. The wire itself I have kept and already needed to use some of it to keep Otis from going up the stairs at the back of the house. Unlike the side garden, there's no roses or any bulbs that I found in this front garden. There is a beautiful big arum lily, and I'm looking forward to seeing that in flower soon, and a stinging nettle, which I believe is supposed to be very good for us, and one little beastie. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I finished clearing out the garden in time to go to my Spanish class, came back and then took down that blind and cleaned the window. By then it was raining, so I wasn't able to video it, but I have got some pictures so you can see what it looked like by the time I was finished. This rose that you can see and the signs of spring all around are in the yard where we're renting. So I thought I'd take you on a little look to show what is growing there. Here you can see a strawberry plant just coming into flower. I remember there were flowers and a couple of strawberries when we moved in August, but it had almost finished then. So hopefully soon we'll see some strawberries. The yard, as you can see, is really large and there's beds all around the edge with more roses, and one of them has even flowered already this early in March, which amazes me. I cut these back so hard earlier in the year. Planted underneath the roses then, there's lots of nasturtiums and lots of parsley, both of which are really good for keeping the pests off your roses, and of course both of which are edible. This one's just started to flower. We've got some more pretty flowers. These have actually flowered all winter and I don't know what they're called. Do you? I know there are apps available to check the plant that you've got, but unfortunately those all seem to charge now, and there's something about me, I just refuse to pay for any apps on my mobile phone. There's another plant near this one, and there are several of these around the garden. Again, I don't know what it's called. Do you know? Over underneath the linden tree, there's lots and lots of bulbs. Wonderful to see daffodils and other things coming up there. There really is an amazing view of the valley and the mountains beyond from this property. This is the valley that goes from Oria up to Cuya. It's very fertile, and this particular area with the Fuente or spring even more so. I think we're going to miss this view when we move from here. Here we have a Greek dog setting root on a wall, his favourite spot to watch the world from. However, Otis is not impressed that I'm leaving him on that wall to show you what's happening below the property. The land below us is looked after by our neighbours around us. They're growing the most amazing mixture of vegetables and fruits and nuts in an area that is the driest in Europe. It just goes to show that if you look after the land properly and manage it properly, you can grow anything. And that is the reason I wanted us to come here, because that's what we want to do with the land where we are. And I've got to show you this. I've walked away from the house and Chewy and Impy have joined me in my little stroll. Whenever I come out here with the dog, they come as well. They do like to go for a walk, don't you, Chewy? Yes, you do. Where are you going, Chew? Look at your fat winter belly. Hi guys. So, today it's Monday again. Can you believe it? It's another week. And I'm over at the house. I've done my Spanish classes this morning. It's very grey, it's very rainy, on and off. Otis is not impressed because I've put this at the bottom of the stairs that go up to the terrace there and the room above. The other day he went straight up those stairs and was heading for the roof. So I've had to block that off. We don't want him clambering over our tiles or the neighbour's tiles for that matter. So what I'm going to try and do now is clear this area here by the door. I don't know if you can tell, there's lots of greenery. It just needs clearing up all of the weeds and giving the place a chance to dry out properly once this rain finishes. So to do this job, I had a rummage in the back room there, and I managed to find some old implements to clear the edge How cool is that? With a handmade handle, still perfectly usable, so that's what I'm going to use. And clear all that greenery and start to tidy up this yard. Annoyingly here, I'm facing the issue that we haven't worked out how to open that back gate yet. I've tried with the keys again today. We have a key that works. It just doesn't turn no matter what I do. So, unfortunately, I can't just take the wheelbarrow out that gate along the road and empty this down onto the land. I'm going to have to bring the wheelbarrow into the old dining room area and empty from the bucket into the wheelbarrow and then barrow it through the house. I think that's going to be the only way of getting this out. Those are too big to carry on their own any distance, and it's silly trying to. So I need to tie my hair up. I'm getting warm now that I'm working and it's getting in my way, and I'll continue. Well, considering I came a little bit unprepared, I've done quite well. The area by the back door is cleared. I filled 2 buckets with actually some quite good soil, so we'll get that put somewhere on the land where we need soil. I'm going to show you something with the sink over here. There's a tap and it works, and the water comes out under here and goes down there. I think that's going down to a drain that goes under the road and empties out just at the back of the warehouse. So we need a water butt on that to collect that, that's for sure. But my next job tomorrow is going to be to clear that mess there and discover the drain underneath. Hello, Otis. You like a good dripping watery thing, don't you? Yes, you do. Is it time to go home? Is it time to go home? Is it? Later that afternoon, it felt like the world was coming to an end as the skies turned the most amazing dark orange and the Calima or sands came across from North Africa. The next morning, it was still really thick in the air, though the camera wasn't really picking it up properly, and there was sand really thick on every single surface. The weather warnings and the warnings from the local authorities were that we should not go out unless we had mask and goggles on, because it was so dangerous, particularly for anyone with breathing problems. I took a walk around to check out the car, and you can see more in the air there just how thick that dust was. The car itself is completely covered in the sandy, muddy dust. I'm calling it sand, but it's more like a very, very fine mud. And when it dries, it's disgusting. When it's wet, it's even worse. There was no point cleaning it. We had rain forecast for the very next day. I do have asthma, so I decided to stay home. Next morning, on the 16th, the rains arrived just as the forecasters had predicted, relatively heavy, and I was hoping it was going to be enough to wash the mud away. What it did was bring more mud down with it. And what I didn't know then was that these rains were going to last for the next 16 days solid. Or that I was going to have 16 days of muddy paws and wet dog and cats. So that's it for this video. Join me next time as I take a drive round to the house and discover what damage is being caused by the rains and what damage that sand did that came down on everything. I hope you enjoyed this week. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget to click that subscribe and share with your friends to help the channel. Thank you.